Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pierre Chatelain. I'm chairing the board of Rockefeller School, and I'm very honored to welcome you all. And it's a great honor and privilege for the school to organize this 2024 NPODE meeting. We are still a young school in podiatrics, and we are in the phase described by pediatrician, I'm a pediatrician, as infancy, followed by childhood and adolescence. And in infancy, you are still working how to walk, how to speak. So our young pediatric school is really starting to interact with other schools in France, and we have the objective to interact internationally indeed. So having said that, we have facilities on the ground floor that I invite you to visit, and we have invested quite a lot to train our pediatric students, and I hope they enjoy the benefit from these facilities. Indeed, Lyon is a big metropole, as we say, and has a lot of pediatricians, and among these we have selected a list who are now trained and become trainers for podiatric students. So the 2024 NPODE meeting is chaired by Léonard Perrin, and I'd like to express warm thanks to Léonard for the hard work she put to organize this meeting. And the director of our pediatric branch is Yves Lescure, present, and both of them will say a few words. So this 2024 NPODE meeting welcome more than 420 participants. And in addition, we have 300 students. I don't think we have facilities large enough to host all these people, but I hope we can manage to have most of them attending to the lectures indeed. There is more than 10 countries. I wrote 10, but actually there are additional countries: Malta, Spain, Portugal, Finland, the United Kingdom, Iceland, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, Finland, the USA, and France. We have 22 contributing universities or institutions, and this gives the size and the importance of this NPODE meeting that has developed tremendously along the years. And this is the 11th meeting. So I'd like to express in your name our deep thanks to our sponsors and partners who made this 2024 NPODE meeting possible with their support. And I invite you to visit their display in the 2 rooms on the ground floor. Finally, I'd like to introduce Professor Frederic Fleury, who is president of Université Claude Bernard Lyon, and we are very honored, Professor Fleury, to have you today to say a few words. And after Professor Fleury has expressed himself, we'll have a few words by Léonard Perrin and by Yves Lescure. Thank you very much.
Dear colleagues, dear students, on behalf of the Rockefeller Schools and the University, I warmly welcome you in this meeting. And since you have your translation, I switch in French, because my speech is in French, and it's better without my French accent.
So it's a great honor for the Claude Bernard University and the Rockefeller School to welcome you to this campus for this international conference that brings together the representatives from a very broad community of scientists, trainers, students, are all with you, from 22 universities and institutions. So there's a European dimension which is very important for us here in Lyon, and it really echoes our European alliance with different universities. Lyon is part of a European alliance that was launched by President Macron several years ago with Granada University, Minho in Portugal, Padua in Italy, Leipzig, Minho, Rydnius, Wrocław in Poland, and Lyon to develop student mobility, which is so important when it comes to training and education. The Lyon University site is recognized in France and across the world for its activities and results when it comes to training, research, innovation in the large field of health and all of its different specialities. So after Paris, it's the second training and research center when it comes to health disciplines like cancerology, infectiology, neurosciences, biomechanics, movement science, and that's just a few. We are present in many different ratings, and we're developing activity focused on innovation. We've got lots of patents. We're creating startups in the field of health. The organization here in Lyon of the European Network of Podiatry in Higher Education will allow you to discover the wealth of subjects and people involved, and hopefully you will be able to set up different collaborations and contacts. I'd like to thank Pierre Chatelain, the president of the board, and Yannick Guinaud, who's at the back of the room, who works with him. I'd like to thank them for inviting me, and all of the organization teams, the management staff and the educational staff for inviting me to this exceptional event and giving me the opportunity to say a few words this morning. The University Claude Bernard Lyon and the Rockefeller School have historical relations, so over 2 centuries of work together here in Lyon to train medical, social and health professionals, notably nursing sciences and medical and social sciences. Our institutions have lots of academic links, and this is for the benefit of students. And on the same campus, we share many things close to the hospitals, the Hospice Civil de Lyon and the Bernard Center that is known across the world. So we have close ties with these different institutions, and we've got a lot of support from the university for developing new training inside the Ecole Rockefeller, just like the creation of the Pedicure and Podology Institute that was created in the 60s. This partnership between the Rockefeller School and the university meets the request of the state to integrate the training of podologists and to give them a BA and MA level training. So this is important because France is therefore in line with the European model, because we now have these students in the university. With the president and the director of this school, we want to join our forces within the university. This will reinforce our collaboration and focus on training and research and innovation, so that together we can pursue this university-wide focus and develop interprofessional relations. The theme of your conference, Sport and Biomechanics, represents in Lyon great strengths, great forces in Lyon. The university and the school are going to step up their collaboration when it comes to this discipline with scientific teams and sports and biomechanics labs. The idea being to develop research in pedicure and podology fields, and in order to boost the dynamics of these fields. The university and the school share the ambition to position paramedical sciences and medical sciences at the highest international level, with the wish to develop numerous collaborations with European teams. And so we want to continue tomorrow to go even further. We want to focus on pedicures and podology, and that's why we have the conference today. I hope that you will enjoy the intense scientific discussions over the next 3 days and make the most of this international time. And don't forget to visit Lyon with its fabulous historic and scientific heritage, along with its gastronomy. Enjoy the rest of the day and enjoy the workshop.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very, very much to be here with us today. We have planned a long and very interesting day for you today. So welcome in Lyon, and we hope we will enjoy the program.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to welcome the Empode family for this 2 days we have together. We're very proud to have you there, the Empode members and the non-members that are here today. I'd like to thank Professor Chatelain to allow us to do it real, Mr. Yannick Guénaud too, and Mr. Fleury. Thank you very much for coming to us. And this morning I heard very good news about our collaboration, so I'm very happy about that. All I want to thank is, I would like to thank my team of the organization. They did a great work, and especially the students, the Rockefeller students. Thank you very much for all you've done, your help, and I hope everybody is going to have a good day. It's a very long day. You're going to learn a lot of things, and I wish you the best for today, and thank you very much again. And now, let's start by maybe the person that represents the most Empode family, Mr. Alfred Gatt, our past president. He did a lot of work for us. He did a lot of work to make Empode grow. So, welcome, Alfred. It's a pleasure to have you, and it's a pleasure to have you to start the day.
Bonjour. Certainly, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm very honored to have the first presentation. And the Empode family is my family, and I feel like a father for most of you. So, okay. So in Malta, we have a master's degree in clinical biomechanics, and this is the work of one of our students. Let's see how it works. So, for all those who are students in podiatry and maybe physiotherapy as well, and for healthcare professionals who do a lot of musculoskeletal work, we always talk about gait analysis. And that's a very, very important subject for us. Because gait analysis will give us a lot of information about how our patient walks. And from there, we can infer what may be the cause of a presenting pathology, and maybe also guides us on how to manage this problem. We talk about subjective and objective gait analysis. If I take you a little bit back, and so with subjective gait analysis being, you watching your patient walk, and I say, this patient pronates, he's got this and he's got that. But it's subjective, and it depends a lot on your experience and from the angle in which you look at the patient walking. And then there are objective measures, of course. And the gold standard in objective measures, where you have actual numbers that will tell you the angles in the 3D, in the 3 body planes for each joint, is obviously 3D motion capture, where we use optoelectronic motion capture systems to quantify how that person walks. And even though this has been around for many, many, many years, over 30 or 35 years, the main use of gait analysis is really to analyze those patients, those pediatric patients, mostly with cerebral palsy, okay? And it's always been at the back of my mind, why hasn't this really developed so much further? And nowadays, with equipment becoming cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, it is really, really possible to do that. So we did a study, and the main justification for this study is that, in actual fact, we think that a lot of health professionals don't understand these graphs. If I were to ask a podiatrist who's been working for 10 years in the field and say, look, can you interpret this graph? What do they mean? They'll say, I have no idea, because these graphs were designed by engineers for engineers. Okay? They provide a lot of information to all those people who know how to interpret them. But to those people who are actually treating the patient, the clinician, it's very difficult to interpret. And we thought that maybe we could find an easier way to make this interpretation available. So they are hard to understand, yes, and they require a lot of training. So we need experts like Georgios here, you know, who's a biomechanist and who spends a lot of his time working on it. But podiatrists and physios in their clinical practice, they don't have the time to do that. And nor is it maybe justified to have someone like Georgios doing a whole day or 2 days work to try to explain to us what they mean, okay? So we try to simplify how this gait analysis results look like. So we try to design, and if we look, for example, at this graph, which is the sagittal plane motion, represents sagittal plane motion of the ankle joint, right, along the gait cycle. Yes, are you all with me? As you can see, there are 3 bands. The green band is what we call the normative band, which is more or less what we say, this is normal. I don't like the word normally, we use normative, okay? Which means that it's okay. And if the movement falls within the yellow graph, the yellow area, though that's normative plus or minus 1 standard deviation, which is still maybe okay if you're looking for gross movement deformities, and the red band represents when you have excessive amounts of, in this case, excessive amounts of dorsiflexion and excessive amount of plantar flexion, okay? So obviously we all know the traffic lights, yeah? Every day we see those traffic lights and they make sense to us. And the idea was to try to develop a system which is visual, which we can see, okay, and which people can really look at it instantly. And we went through various different iterations. So we represented the lower extremity with the pelvis, hips, knees, and ankle, obviously, as nodes where we can visually represent the movement that is occurring there at a particular instance along the stance phase. And we went through so many various iterations, you know, different ways in trying to make this comprehensive. And we ended up with something like this. So if you were to look at this phase, you'll see that we took the 3 main instances along the gait cycle, but obviously there is no reason why you cannot take each instance actually, okay? And with each, here the knee and ankle being represented by nodes, divided in 3, and we chose that standard, that particular thing, because it's freely available in Word. If you take Microsoft Word, you have that, and you can actually type in it, okay? And I think if we look at this, it might not be so intuitive, but if we look at this, you can look at the red areas, you know, and see, you know, for example, in the right knee there is excessive external rotation. You know, in the ankle, there is external rotation and plantar flexion, which are red to us. And red means there could be something wrong. Not necessarily, but there could be something wrong. Whilst in the yellow and the green areas, well, they are more of a normative. So it becomes so much easier to understand and interpret, okay, during initial contact, during mid-stance, and during terminal stance. So basically what we did, this is our biomechanics lab where we have a 16-camera Vicon system. We simulated neurological gait with 2 experienced gait analysts, okay? And so that we have data, because what data we have wasn't really so important, but the important thing is how we represent the data and whether our system could correctly represent that data in its way, in its fashion. Okay, so we use the plug-in gait model. Those who do gait analysis will obviously know this simple model very well. And then we put in a Google form, which we distributed to about 300 health professionals, physiotherapists, podiatrists, medical physicians. And we took each scenario, and broke down each result, okay, in both what we call the traditional system and the traffic light system. And started asking them things like, where do you think the problem is, you know, in this instance, what do you think is, which do you think is the best system, and so forth. So we only got about, I don't know if I skipped one, okay. We only got about with 26, I believe, 26 responses from physicians, podiatrists, and physiotherapists. And the first thing that we needed to do was to see if the system is valid. Okay? So we had 2 expert gait analysts interpreting the traditional system and interpreting the new system, and then we compare the results. And basically, if I can, so these are the demographics of those who replied. This refers to validity. So validity is the system giving us what it is supposed to give us, okay? And we had a huge result of 0.92. So a validity of 1 in Cronbach's alpha means a perfect correlation. 0.92, I think you can't really go higher than that. And we also did intra-rater and inter-rater reliability. So those of you, especially for the students who are not familiar with this, the difference between validity and reliability is, as I said, is it doing what it is supposed to do? Though that is validity. Reliability is when you have a test which is being repeated again and again. Does it provide the same answer? So intra-rater reliability, if I do the same test now and I do the same test tomorrow and the day after, okay, how similar is that? Whilst inter-rater reliability relates to if I do that test and if you do the test and if someone else does the same test, do our results correlate together? Okay, that is the meaning of these 3. And now I'm happy to say that actually our traffic light system, so I won't bore you with all the statistics and all that, but our traffic light system obtained much higher reliability than the traditional system. Now, the traditional system obtained very high intra-rater reliability amongst those people who were trained in it, because we wanted participants who were both trained, so we could check against trained analysts, and those who were not trained in the use of such systems, okay? So those who were trained in reinterpreting the graphs, the reliability was very, 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 very high. But in those, obviously, who had no idea about this, the reliability was very, very low. But still, they were exposed to our traffic light system once, you know, and so the reliability among these health professionals was really higher than that. Also, we get some responses. Which do you understand? And there was one orthopedic surgeon who said, I have no idea what these graphs mean. I mean, this is the surgeon who's going in the theater to perform the operation, and then I have no idea. Whilst in the traffic light system, I can see when and what's going wrong really better. Now, the traffic light system is not meant to replace the traditional system, because at the end of the day, this is what the world works on. But I think it would be a great idea to start people thinking about how we can further develop these. We had one subject, participant, who said, no, I prefer the traditional system. And the reason turned out that he was colorblind. And we hadn't, you know, that's why it is so important to mention these people. So from his interpretation, then we developed other methods of using this with colorblind people. Another thing to note is that in the traditional system, most of the people who said, I don't know. Whilst in our system, they actually tried to understand them better. And for me, I see this possibility because I want to open gait analysis to a wider range of patients. For me, diabetic foot. Why not have gait analysis for diabetic foot? I've had two of our PhD students just finished telling us, their studies where they found that gait is affected so much. And it starts off from the pelvis. The problem starts off from the pelvis in diabetes, while we as podiatrists, when we try to offload an area of an ulcer, we just look at the plantar aspect of the foot. But the problem isn't that there. We are too narrow. The problem starts actually from the hip because of glycosylation, etc. We have people like those with sports injuries, neurological conditions, musculoskeletal conditions, rheumatoid arthritis. It is so vast. All these people want us, need us to start doing proper gait analysis, but with results that we, and even the patient can understand. Okay, obviously limitations. So this is one of the improvements to the system, okay, where you just put a grid, a pattern so that anyone who is colorblind can see the differences, and also even simplifying it further. So on your spreadsheet or on your screen, you just see the main movement there, which is affected. Then you take your mouse, you go over there, and it opens up and shows you exactly what it is. Because we, as health professionals, we need things to be simple. We don't need to be complicated, because we have to see 10 patients in a session, no? We cannot spend so much time. And I think this should be a way forward. From this, it was very clear that we who are untrained, those who are untrained in gait analysis, cannot understand the results. And we need to develop these systems further so that our patients will benefit from that. I don't think I can take any much of your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alfred, for the presentation of this new system that can be very useful for clinicians. Thank you for everything you've done for us. Thank you for everything you're going to do for us.
My pleasure.
And it's a present for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But next time,
Or
So now we will have Paul-André Deleu from Haute Ecole Léonard de Vinci, who will be presenting his talk about gait analysis in foot and ankle surgery.
Thank you. Okay, let's start. So, topic of today is gait analysis and foot and ankle surgery. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for this great event. So, it's not functioning. Oh, okay. So, the aims of gait analysis and foot and ankle surgery are multiple. So first you have to understand the biomechanical properties of the pathological gait, analyze the biomechanical components of foot and ankle and their relationship to one another during gait, and most of all to make clinically meaningful inferences regarding the biomechanical function. And if you talk to foot and ankle surgeons, they want to know what is the effect of my treatment on my patients. So for the aim of this presentation, I will focus on the last part, which is measuring the effect of their treatment. So let's take an example. Okay, so for example, we can take ankle osteoarthritis, which is a degenerative joint disease affecting more or less 1% of the adult population. It is characterized by a decreased joint space. You have osteophytes formation, as you can observe on the red arrow on the screen, and also you have a loss of cartilage. So those patients are characterized in terms of gait of a decreased walking speed, cadence, stride length, and also a reduced ankle range of motion when you compare them to control subjects. The gait is quite asymmetric, and it's a kind of protective mechanism in order to avoid putting too much load on the affected joint. So, in terms of surgical treatment, when conservative treatment fails, we can propose total ankle replacement, which has been quite encouraged the last decade. It has the potential to preserve the existing preoperative range of motion, but also potentially to protect the neighboring foot joint. However, when we look at the literature, we can see that they are focusing on the affected joint, but they don't take into consideration the neighboring foot joints. So there exists quite a lot of multi-segment kinetic and kinematic foot models. They have shown a clinical added value. However, in terms of research, they are not quite used. So therefore, we did a prospective study to analyze if the total ankle replacement keeps their promises in terms of preserving the pre-existing ankle range of motion during the stance phase, but also to see what's happening in the neighboring foot joints. So, we recruited patients. They all had post-traumatic ankle osteoarthritis. They were capable of walking at least 100 meters without aid of rest. They were all scheduled for a total ankle replacement. They had no other medical problems that could potentially affect their gait. And they had no neurological diseases or systematic disease. So we had 36 subjects. We had all the data before and after surgery, and had a kind of mean age of 59 years old. So to assess those patients, we used a clinical examination platform. It combines 3 different measuring systems. So the force plate for the ground reaction forces, plantar pressure plate to measure the plantar pressure, and a motion capture system. They were all synchronized in time and in space, and we recorded at a session of 200 images per second. Next. So the first step was to place the markers on the feet of our patients, as you can observe on the 2 images on the screen. Patients were instructed, so we placed those markers according to the Rizzoli foot model of Leonardini. The patients were asked to walk at a self-selected speed in a walkway of 8 to 10 meters along. We recorded 5 representative tries of the foot and interest, and we calculated then the kinematics according to an adapted version of the Rizzoli foot model published by Kevin Deschamps here in the audience, and we respected the ISB recommendation. So at the end, in terms of joints, I would like to highlight the term of joint is defined here as a modeled biomechanical interaction between 2 foot segments. So if we take, for example, the ankle joint, so it's a simplification. It's a simplified joint representing between the interaction between the shank and the calcaneus that you can see here in green. Then we had the Chopard joint, which is a simplified representation between our calcaneus segment in green and the midfoot in gray. And then we have our Risfranc joint, which is a simplified representation between the midfoot, which is in dark gray, and the metatarsus in blue. And then we have our first MTP joint, which is simplified representation between our purple segment and our blue segment. So to assess the differences between the 2 conditions, we use vector field statistics. So it has the advantage of taking and to assess varying 3D component kinematic angle differences for each joint of interest. So you see on the top we have our movement of our first MTP joint in around the 3 axes. The curve underneath show you if there is a differences and where in time this difference is occurring. And then if there was a difference, then we did post-hoc analysis to see in which of the component there was a difference. So this kind of statistical test has the advantage that it regards the time series as the unit of observation, and time dependence is incorporated in the statistical testing. So in terms of results, we can see on the VIS that the pain has quite significantly decreased. We see also that the spatiotemporal factors has improved after surgery, and those are good indicators that our patient had a greater sense of stability and also a decreased joint space during walking. So in terms of kinematics, we can see that most of them were occurring during loading response. They had increased plantarflexion of the ankle joint and eversion. We can see also that the neighboring foot joint, there were differences. There were an increase of dorsiflexion in the Chopard joint. And we see that in propulsion at forced MTP joint, we see they had more dorsiflexion. Next. So in terms of the discussion, as I just mentioned, all the differences were occurring during loading response, which is characterized by an aberrant transfer of the body weight onto the forward limb using the calcaneus as a rocker. So patients are not afraid anymore to land on their foot and that the load is going across the affected joint. So this is also, again, a good indicator of decreased joint pain. So we were interested to see what's happening in neighboring foot joints, and we can see that we had also some improvement in there, but the question remains if those changes are due to pain relief only, or are they due to the fact that the whole foot is functionally working better than before the surgery. So those questions still remains today. What we were also interested to see if which patients had the most benefit of the prosthesis, if there was the stiffer angles of the ankles who had a lot of mobility. So we divided our sample in quartiles and we divided them in 3 groups. So we have a group, we had the lowest dorsiflexion during mid-stance and preoperative. So we see our first group with 3.5, our second group of dorsiflexion 6.5, and our last group with 10 degrees. But what we can see if we take difference between pre and post-op is that our lowest group had the greatest improvement. So we can say that globally our stiffer ankles had really a benefit of the prosthesis during that second rocker of the gait and have an increased dorsiflexion. What we were also interested, and we like to inform our patient what they can potentially expect from the prosthesis. And globally, we wanted to know and also to inform surgeons, can we check some things on the X-rays? So we analyzed all the X-rays and we quantified and classified the severity of the osteophytes on the tibia, but also on talus. And what we observed is that the ones who had the most severe tibial osteophytes in the talus and in the tibia had the greatest improvement in dorsiflexion during the second rocker of the gait. So it could also give us first information that we can give to the surgeon, but also to the patients. So those patients on here represented in green, where they have dot in green, and you see that the most dot in greens are the one with the most increase on the graph. So to conclude, for our example here, we can say that total ankle replacement does preserve their preoperative ankle range of motion. We have some improvement during loading response. We can see that patients with stiff ankles can have a greater improvement range of motion, but at the end it's still not that much when we compare to asymptomatic subjects. It's also important that we do future studies to see, okay, this is short-term results, to see at mid-term and long-term, do they still preserve this improvement? We had some studies from Brodsky recently. We showed that 7-year post-op that is still maintaining their improvements, what we saw at 1-year post-op. So this is great news. But also maybe not only to analyze those patients with gait, but also other functional tasks and to see if those improvements are also there present. Thank you for your attention. Just to finish, I want to thank all my colleagues here on the slide, especially the last 2 who came with me today.
Now is the moment for the questions. Do you have any question for the presenter?
We have a question from Alessio.
Thank you for a very nice presentation. I can come through? Okay. if I come here, do you see me? Can you hear me? Yes. Yeah? Hi? Okay. You said that the improvement in walking, you don't know if it's a result of pain relief or global improvement in the foot functioning. But actually, you have the data on pain. Have you tried to control for pain? There are different statistical approaches you can use to try to control for pain or stratify by improvement in pain. Have you tried something with that? Maybe you don't have the statistical power, but there are some possibilities. The data is there.
We used quality of life questionnaires, like the short form 36, and we saw that we have patients who are functioning well, but they still say that their activities of the daily living is not at the level that they wanted. So it's a part with pain decrease, but it's also, I think, the expectation of the patient and how he feels, how to function.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for your presentation. Here's a little gift to show you how grateful we are for your great presentation.
Thank you.
You can applaud him.
Thank you very much, Paul-André. It was very interesting. Now it's time to welcome Nuria, Garres, Aragüés. The pronunciation was good? It's okay? Okay. Welcome.
Even though my presentation, my PowerPoint is in English, I prefer to speak French. So good morning. I'd like to thank the scientific committee for giving me the possibility of presenting my project, the crowdfunding and educational innovation project. My name is Nuria Garres. I'm a podologist and I'm a teacher at the nursing and podology at the University of Málaga, and I promote Masumana project. Masumana is consist with two variables: my interest for teaching and research, and also the call for projects for crowdfunding, which was instituted by the University of Málaga. The basic idea of the project was to have a platform that would allow us to have a fundamental change. And so this meant that we were able to test this for the first time. The students will be trained and will be able to have interdisciplinary internships by proposing services to different associations in Málaga participating in this project. This association are Autismo do Málaga, Espina Figa, Málaga, an association of people who who require assistance in Málaga, and also the Institute of Podology of Málaga. It's just the beginning, and our mission was built on building a basic platform to extend this vision and to take the possibilities of care one step further, to have a more human service and more innovative that's really centered on people and the community. Our objective was to test and implement service learning in community podiatry in order to train a new generation of podiatrists. And this meant that in this discipline, allowing them to provide personalized care for people with special needs. Also, it was to establish channels of collaboration with professionals working with groups with functional diversities, to promote a new approach of podiatry through a motivating and transforming initiative for students, such as service learning, to implement efficient care for these patients and to allow health advice to the families in the different associations in order to respond to their needs. So how do we go about doing this? We, first of all, program certain seminars, panel discussions. You can see some pictures here of some of the activities we undertook during this first half of the academic year, the first term, and also what are motivations and what do we consider what led us to have Masumana, to create Masumana. First of all, we have to have knowledge in the field of podiatry, and it must continue. It mustn't transcend a mere description of podiatric pathologies, but it must be a service experience which becomes the center of the process, which then allows us to transform our learning and then impacting on people's lives and positive social practices. And the final motivation, it is our responsibility to create this knowledge freely and to contribute to its enrichment. To begin with, our project targets our students in degrees in podiatry and the social entities in Malaga, and all the health teachers who are interested in this methodological orientation in their field of activity. In the second phase, the community will be open to students, associations, organizations, and teachers in other regions who share this philosophy. And so now here is an idea of our crowdfunding campaign on the Goteo platform. Goteo is an organization which is non-profit and based in Barcelona, and it focuses on civic and activities and social innovation. We began our campaign on the 1st of March 2023 and ended on the 20th of May with 1,245 euros being collected. There were 25 co-funders who contributed different amounts, and each of those was given a different reward. And finally, here is an excerpt of our promotional video for crowdfunding on the Goteo platform. Je suis désolé. Ah ouais, mais c'est sous-titré parce qu'on n'entend rien. Voilà, je suis étudiante de l'Université de Malaga et je étudie actuellement à l'AMU de Nantes. Je suis à Aranta Segura, je suis à la 4e année de pédiatrie. Bonjour, je suis Alejandro Sanchez, 4e année de pédiatrie. Notre objectif est de créer une communauté humanisante pour le soin pédiatrique de personnes qui ont des besoins spécifiques ou spéciaux. Alors nous allons, pour cela, faire un pilote, une méthodologie d'enseignement qui nous permet
permite al estudiantado formarse en un entorno con necesidades reales con el objetivo de mejorar.
Bueno, me apunté a ese proyecto para poder ayudar a uno de los colectivos más vulnerables y poder así trabajar con ellos y desde nuestra experiencia y nuestro trabajo hacerle la vida más sencilla.
Y bueno, pues me metí en este proyecto de aprendizaje en servicio porque creo que es una manera diferente de ver la podología, más enfocado a lo que es la podología comunitaria, que es algo que no tenemos mucho conocimiento de ello. Y bueno, por la satisfacción, ¿no?, de poder ayudar a personas y a entidades sociales que de verdad requieren de nuestra ayuda.
Y bueno, quería comentar por qué decidí unirme al proyecto de aprendizaje-servicio. Cuando se nos explicó que era este apartado, ¿no?, dentro también de la podología, pues me llamó mucho la atención, puesto que pienso que prestar este tipo de atención más humana y más cercana a estos pacientes que necesitan unas necesidades especiales es muy enriquecedor, puesto que estamos expandiendo, por así decirlo, un poquito el horizonte, ¿no?, de la podología.
Et voilà, c'est fini de ma part. Merci beaucoup.
So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Nuria. Delegate for you. Okay, thank you very much. Hello, Léonard.
Hello, Yves. So now we have our first keynote presentation from Gabriel from University of Málaga. He will talk about MetaFO and he will animate a workshop tomorrow on that subject also.
Hey.
Hey, bro. How are you?
Hey, bro. Okay.
I'll let you do.
Okay.
Good luck.
Okay. Good. Okay. First of all, good morning at all the family of Empode, the student. It's a pleasure to have in this room with full people here. So, but for me, it's a great place to show our Erasmus Plus project. That tomorrow we will have the application part with the glass. So I would like to apologize because only we have 10 glass for tomorrow, but we will try to all that want to have the experience with the glass, we can do it. So it's not, I promise that when we have all the glass, so maybe we will have 100 per around of the partner. I promise to come back to Lyon and to do the experience with all the students of Rockefeller. Okay, so this project it's inside of the Erasmus Plus project with the co-funding of the European Union. And in this case, this project is supported by 5 universities, members of the EMPODE, the Metropolia of University Application Science from Helsinki, the University of Málaga, the Escola Superior Saúde Cruz Vermelha Portuguesa from Lisbon, they come from Murcia in Spain, and the University of Málaga. The higher education institutions of the university should be the support of the elements for our people learn and increase the level of the knowledge, of the experience, of the ability and the value. We need to work in this way because we prepare professionals for the future. They will work in the companies, in the hospital, in the research, and maybe, why not, is a teacher. So, and the form to explain this form to learn is different between during the next year. So I remember, a little bit old, so I learned with a blackboard, with a pens, with a page. So, and the transmission on the information was direct for the teacher, with books, with other type of elements of the material to study. Maybe 20 years ago, the technology changed our life. Start with the internet, start with the laptop. So the form to learn is different from 20 years ago. I start to study with the plastic and with the pens, and now we use the PowerPoint to presentation our teaching. So, but now we want to do the new step and to use the virtual reality to learn better, because all the young people use the new technology and use the gamification. What is the gamification? Is to game or to play with this. So it's easy to learn with this concept of this, because at the end we are working, or we live in the world with the play as a focus in the future. So if we take the new way and to use the gate, to use the virtual glass, we can go to a new version or new universe that's to pass to the metaverse. What? Okay, maybe maybe in the future we will have the meeting with the Star Wars in the room with all the members with our glass. Maybe Kevin is in Brussels, Chris is in Manchester, Alfred is in Malta, and I'm in the middle of everybody, so that's talking about it. Okay? So, what's the outline of the metaverse option? The first is that the student can go to the university virtuality. So, for example, the most important university of the world, Stanford, give the glass with the tuition of the university. Why? Because they understand that not always is easy to receive the information or to go to the class. So, and maybe you are ill or the traffic is terrible, and okay, I put my glass, I connect with my smartphone, and we can have Wi-Fi and receive the class in the different context of the day. So, okay, good option. But most important, in the health science, we have situation that is very complicated to see during the degree. So, example, so Parkinson gates, a special surgery that you cannot see because it's easy or it's complicated that come to the clinics. So with this, we can record this situation, and the student at least should see this situation virtuality, but this is very important. So in the next 2 years, for example, we will buy research gate analysis, and we record different type of gates to analyze with the students. So neurological gates, Parkinson's gates. So because it's very difficult that the students see this type of patients. Oh, sorry. So, and the most important too, it's all the meeting can be with their virtual reality and not with the screen of the laptop. So we can see our avatar, and it's good that to see the form of the body of our colleague. So in this case, we apply the proposal of case-based learning. That is we resolve problems with the simulation. I think that's all we use in our school, this type of simulation. It's a case that we give the opportunity to different steps. And why not introduce the situation of virtual? So it's not only that the simulation with food or our different form of material simulation. With this, we can have a big repository of library of this case. In the pandemic, in Spain, we had a lot of problem for our students receive the practice of in the house. The association similar of EMPODE, we have in Spain an association of all the school of Spain. We create a library with a lot of case special to focusing to resolve with our student. And we receive sorry my English. So it's a premium from the University of Madrid about it. Wait. So, okay. In this case, why start to work in this way? Because the UCAM, one of the members, is a specialist in this simulation. They have a master in the emergencies using this type of form of learning. Okay. For example, they send me this option to attending one patient that have a crash of the motor and to remove the cat. So it's 4. Okay, but we would like to adapt this for our feet problem. Okay, and now take your smartphone. Okay, because wait, scan this. It's the first time that the people can see this, okay? It's a premium for you. You have all? Yes? Tick tack, tick tack, tick tack, tick tack. Okay? Okay, chains. Wait. Okay. You think that I am the teacher, I explain my class of the foot orthotics, and I don't know, it's a okay? Normally, I teach the class with one insole in my hands and pass for the room. Okay, now with this, you can open, you can close, you can move, so the element you can see perfectly, and we will have in the different type of insole. So, okay. And why not? Okay, sorry. The running shoes. So it's an example, so it's not a special running shoes, but it's the same. Okay. You move. I can explain perfectly, and this is with a smartphone. But if you have the glass, the atmosphere is more. It's the simulation inside of the shoes. Okay? Great. I'm happy to see you move the smartphone. Okay. So, 4 or 5 weeks ago, we had the first experience immersive seminar in Málaga with Manolo. Manolo will be tomorrow in the seminars, in the workshop. In this case, with 10 students. Wait, say. In this case, this recording video is in Murcia. In the right is in Málaga, 5 years ago with a student. No, sorry. Wait, so I'm sorry, so because I want to see the video. No, I don't know what's. Can you hear me? Anna, sorry. He is teaching the class. So, this is the metaverse with the avatars. And this is class in their degree. Okay, you can see the screen. With the name, with the avatar, so it's great. Okay? This is an immersive experience. Okay? Okay, go. This is one for to learn. Okay? Other is to use it, the camera 360 degrees. So, and we use the Wanda software. The form to learn is that face-to-face, for example, the brief is that I explain the class, I show what need to learn in this class, and put the experience with the virtual class. And after, the most important is that if you fall, it's no problem. If you are doing surgery and you fall, you will have problem with the patients. In this case, you can train 1, 2, 3, and a lot of time, and we don't have problems. So, with this, we are creating at this moment a different scenario. We have now the proposed is 10 scenario. Foot orthotics, biomechanics analyze, diabetic foot, surgery nail, rheumatoid arthritis, security control. I don't remember. It's a big list. So, and we are recording to use with a different scenario because we would like to analyze in the point of view of the research is good or not. So because we are preparing the ethics committee and we, before of the experience, we receive a questionnaire, and after the question and after the experience, we will have other questionnaire, and we decide is good or not for them to learn more or easy. Okay, so this is a recording in Málaga 6 years ago. The camera is a 360. Okay. This is my colleague Laura. This is the patient of tomorrow we will see in the experience, okay? So, you will see this video in 2D, okay? Tomorrow we will see in the 3D. But the experience is that. So, you think that you have the glass and you move your head and you see all the space of that, okay? And when you finish the scenario, you will see in the right the questions, okay? And you evaluate the student, okay? Now click, okay, wrong. Again, okay? This box will be in all the language. Our option is that to have in English, in Spanish, in Portuguese, in Finnish, in French, and I don't know, we need to talk with my friends of Belgium if they want to have in Dutch, we can translate too. So because it's easy. So if you want to prepare in another language, it's no problem. So I show you the strong experience that Manolo had in their life. So it was in the stock in Turkey last year. They record Oh, sorry. No, I don't know why. Please, can you click, no, the video? In the, yes, thank you. So this is the Heartstrong in Turkey last year. He was inside of this tunnel with the camera. And this situation was offered for the people of the emergency master. This is impossible to reproduce in the normal life, so that with this, they can do it. And now, the other point that we will do it is to record all the clinical of the partner, and with this, we will have to include it of our avatar inside of the room. So, okay, go to the laboratory or the lab or the chiropodic room. So, okay, you put there. This is our clinic in Málaga, okay? So this is supporting not only for the Erasmus Plus, this is a project with another supporting of the government from Spain, Fundación Mafre, with the Minister of the Technology and the Science, and with the government of Brazil. It's other way that it's a big project in the world, so that we are very happy to receive this. If you would like to follow our process, this is our Instagram and Twitter, and we are working with the ethics committee to work with that. And if you have some doubts or questions, I am very happy to respond the doubts. Okay, I hope to see you tomorrow in our workshop. So apologize if I cannot use a lot of time the class. Okay, thank you very much. I'll say bye with my Alhambra.
Questions? Gabi, does Meta-EFO mean the end of the classes at the university?
Yeah, okay. I can go. I have a list, a big list to pass for the different schools in the world. So that 2 months ago, with Southampton, talk with Lindsay Cherry and say, okay, when do you come here? Okay, when I have 2 or 3 experience, I will go to Southampton because it's a good experience. So I would like to go to visit, and in Spain will be easy because for me it's to take the car to put the problem is to move. For example, tomorrow Manolo is coming now from Spain. Is to move 10 glass. So it's very expensive, with 1,000 euros per glass. So and to move that is complicated. So but we have 20 per partner. So but it's 20 is easy to move. Okay.
Thank you, Gabi.
Okay.
Sam?
Thank you very much, Gabi. Yes. Good. Yes. One question, but you almost answered it. What's the cost of that type of system today? What's the cost for a school to get that type of equipment?
In this case, maybe with 10,000 euros is enough to create the virtual class. So maybe the best option is that Meta want to implement their glass in the room, so in the school, because at the end, in our case, it's a surprise. Meta give more or less free the glass for this project because I move around all the schools with their glass. It's the same that without the sponsor of Coca-Cola, but in our case it's Meta. So, but maybe with you have 20 glass, you can have a virtual room. And the experience will be free because the Erasmus Plus, the supporting is that open us to the people. And the focus is in the future create master around of the Europe, around the world, to different situations. So, for example, biomechanics, analyze, surgery. So that this is our focus in the future. So to obtaining funding for the company and to give this option to create with only the glass, and maybe with the price of the master you receive free the glass, for example.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
thank you very much for this trip in the future. Okay.
Okay.
And thank you very much to be there.
Okay, thank you very much.
Pas de questions par ailleurs?
Here's your gift. Thank you so much, Gabi,
much.
for your presentation. And see you tomorrow for the workshop. Hi.
Salut.
Ça va?
Ça va. I think it's the time for the student session.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to welcome Tristan first and his colleague to talk about the French National Student Federation.
Hello, I'm Geoffroy. I'm graduate from FNEP in Paris since this July. And I'm the president of the National Federation of French Students in Podiatry.
Hello, I'm Laetitia and I'm a student in Bordeaux.
Hi, I'm Olivia and I'm a podiatry student in Bordeaux.
Hello, I'm Tristan and I graduated in 2023 in Lyon.
We are the National Federation of French Students in Podiatry. We represent approximately 1,500 students in the French territory and defend their material and moral interests, express their positions on all subjects where they are concerned. We defend health and student rights. We represent the 12 students' offices members around the territory. They are the link between each podiatry students and us.
So we have many projects, such as the International Guide, with information for working with the French diploma in Europe, and the Master's Guide for choose your course of study, or the International School Podiatry Weekend, which took place there last week. And so we are excited to introduce you Welcome. So we have a video. So, not video. We created an app to help podiatry students to learn easily anatomy, lower limb disease, foot care, pharmacology, and so many other areas covered during podiatry studies. The goal is simple: support students in their revisions, first aid and clinical assessments, with refined content and the main points of each category.
Est-ce qu'on peut revenir sur le slide d'avant et essayer de lancer la vidéo?
Can we try and go back to the previous slide, please? No. Could you try and mime it, maybe?
A student, you are in the public transportation and you are thinking about the Martin syndrome, but you don't remember the name of the test, so you can open your phone and you can check it. It's easier than a computer, a book, and we really wanted to create an app to have anatomy, everything. We drew the anatomy pictures with each characteristic of muscles. The lower limb disease has been verified by podiatrist and teacher, and many updates are upcoming with other sheets, pathology and modification. If you have any proposition, don't hesitate to contact us.
Our goal is to develop the app in English and Spanish to help students and share our knowledge all around the European continent. If some students are ready to work with us to share their knowledge in their country, we would be happy to meet you just after this presentation. Our app is now available on the App Store and Google Play Store around the world. It's in French, but we would be interested to have your opinion about our work. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much for presenting this very interesting application that can be a very good tool for students. I hope that will give you the opportunity to develop it like in the European way, in English way. It can be but I think it's a very good option. Thank you for coming, presenting this. It's a pleasure to have you. And the FNEP has a stand in the sponsor room, and I think it's a good thing if every student can go and talk about this application, because it's a great work, and thank you again.
Thank you for your invitation.
So now we're going to start the student session, okay? And I would like to welcome Faustine Schumacher and Nicolas Clercx first.
So if I may?
You can.
Here a few students will present their work, and after you will see them just at the exit of the amphi. You will see the posters, so you can have more information about their work. And there's a contest, so you can vote for your preferred poster, and the student will have a little prize at the end. So listen to them, and then you can see the posters in the corridors.
Yes. Thank you, Léonard, and welcome.
Hello, good morning. So I'm Nicolas Clercx, teacher from the high school Ilya Prigogine in Brussels, and Faustine, who was a student last year. So first, I would like to introduce you to the Podomat project. Podomat is the development of a methodological framework linking the properties of complex materials to the mechanical reaction of functional insoles used in podiatry. So this project is financed by the funding of high school research for a 24-month period ending on June 30. It's also a consortium between two high schools, HELB for podiatry and Enalux for engineering. The objective of the study are build a consistent database of podiatric materials, establish the behavior laws needed to predict the plantar pressure maps for different material stacks, so including tensile and compression tests. To be able to predict the evolution of pressure under the foot when the foot is on one or more different materials, and simulate the deformation of materials subject to pressure in the case of complex geometries like podiatric insoles and or stacked materials. The perspectives of the project are Podomat 2, which is the continuation of the study with the dynamic deformation study, for example, like shock absorption. The project, which was awarded funding a few weeks ago, is due to start in September of this year. I'd like, if you like more information, I invite you to come and discuss it around the poster. And now, Faustine will present you her end of study work, which is part of Podomac project.
Thank you. So, my work is focused on the study of plantar pressures and their impact as a function of the characteristic of the materials chosen. To quantify them, a reliable method is needed. The question is how podiatric material affect plantar pressure fields, depending on their composition and thickness. To study these pressures, we used insoles with onboard sensors from the Clercx brand. Several attempts were made to get a reliable protocol. The method finally presented made it possible to take measurements while largely excluding errors linked to the placement of the insole and therefore to the positioning of the sensors. Thanks to this method, it was possible to match the pressure fields below and above the material. We were able to observe these pressures. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you can find the poster with Faustine in the poster corner, okay? And now I'm calling Diane Dumas from the University of Marseille. Welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm in my third year at the School of Marseille and I will present my protocol memory to the study today. Hallux valgus is a deformity of the first ray in which there is a musculotendinous imbalance which results in the loss of joint alignment and an angulation of the first ray at the medial vertex, where the first metatarsal deviates inward with the hallux deviates outward. This condition affects 5% of the population with a predominance of women in adulthood, particularly during the menopause. The genesis of hallux valgus is still difficult to confirm, but predisposing factors can be recognized, such as the shortness of the first metatarsal associated with an excess of length of the big toe. This confirmation is frequently found in members of the same family, explaining the familial forms of hallux valgus. Hallux valgus can be responsible for variable discomfort ranging from simple aesthetic discomfort through painful conflict at the level of the medial metatarsal projection to joint pain, most often related to associated osteoarthritis. In advanced form of hallux valgus, there will be pain related to the transfer of pressure on the adjacent ray. The only curative treatment for this pathology is surgery, but in mild to moderate form, the podiatrist can make devices to slow down the evolution of hallux valgus, such as orthoplasty associated or not with a night rest orthosis. We therefore propose to carry out a study aimed at evaluating the characteristics of the orthoplasty on the gait parameter. To do this, we recruit patients with moderate hallux valgus according to the Manchester criteria. First, we perform an orthoplasty using the traditional method, that is to say, a silicone elastomer cast directly on the patient's foot. We then proceed to digitize the orthosis, thus proceed via scan, in order to obtain a finished model for which we specify the characteristics to be manipulated. We can make a 3D print by varying shore at each print. The patient will perform 3 passages with a randomly chosen orthoplasty, and we will quantify the pressure generated under the first metatarsal head and on the ectosis using sensor. We will then be able to compare with which orthoplasty best reduces the pressure. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Jan, for your very interesting job. And now we're going to have Astrid Barcet de l'école Rockefeller, s'il vous plaît. Merci beaucoup. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about achial tendinopathy in ultra-trainer. This pathology is defined as an overuse of the system musculoskeletal. First of all, let's speak about the discipline of my research. Ultra-tri is defined as a race longer than 80 kilometers, no more than 15% off-road, in autonomous or semi-autonomous. In 13.7% of the ultra-trailers, the achial tendon is affected. The aim of my study is to determine whether OPS with HCE and heel cups have any therapeutic value in the management of achial tendinopathy in ultra-trailers. To do this, I use the quantitative method with the following tools: visual analogic scale, VISA-A questionnaire, Lazinad classification, foot posture index 6. The patient recruited for this study had to be between 18 and 60 years old, practice ultra-tri, have had Achilles tendon pain for less than 2 years. Regarding height, the heel pad is 5 millimeters and the HCE follows the patient medioplantar vacuum. The materials used for this study are covering PE color orange, base PE200, podothermoflux, Prigogine. After an analysis, here are my first comments. There has been a reduction of pain, mainly for the visual analogy scale, VISA-A questionnaire, and the Lazinad classification. In conclusion, this study remains encouraging regarding the effect of OPS in the treatment of Achilles tendinopathy in ultra-trailers, but the number of patients recruited is not large enough to speak of significant value. For more details, please come to see my poster, and it will be a pleasure for me to answer. Thanks for your time, and have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presentation. And now we're going to have a student from Alençon School. Yes. Thank you for coming. I would like to thank all the students for being there, for accepting to be there. It's a very good stuff for us.
Bonjour à tous. Hi everybody, we're going to do this presentation in French. We are student in third years of podology at Alençon School. The second year we answered a call for projects to preventing autonomy, loss of autonomy and foot health that can give rise to falls. This is part of the ARS anti-fall system, IFRS. The ISPP asked us to provide an answer to this call for projects, and so we based our efforts on cross-cutting teaching for healthcare, promoting this concept and the methodology that we suggested. So we organized our entire class to be able to set up a presentation dossier. 2 axes were developed. First of all, prevention and hygiene of the foot, and also keeping people from falling, preventing falls. And today we are ready to do training, 3-day training for all types of people, patients, carers, and others. And now this meets a need of healthcare professionals, and there's great experience for us as students to be able to learn when we're going to teach these classes. Now, this innovation is an original approach to a professional angle and opens us up to the outside world. Our project was chosen among many other projects, and for us, this was great, this work. This was a great achievement. This is part of a teaching tool because it fits in our modules for aging and therapeutic education of patients. Therefore, by answering this call for projects, we as students, we had an interesting teaching angle here because it met a number of teaching points and allowed us to discover how we could create a project and an intervention. Also, this allowed us to intervene with health carers and other patients, especially the elderly who have foot pathologies and who might fall. Therefore, we regularly go into nursing homes to help these people. We realized that some of the carers in these nursing homes as well did not have enough knowledge and training, so it's important for us to be able to convey this knowledge. So it's a 3-day action or a training course in nursing homes. This allows us as students to take a multidisciplinary approach and to become more professional, to be more at ease with these various situations and to position ourselves as trainers. This also allows professionals to train and inform and to take into account the question of footwear, how to work with specialists and pathologists, and how to improve their pluridisciplinary practices. Now, during this action, the themes were cutting the nails and preventing falls. We need to talk about knowledge and well-being and to advance this idea of skill sets. Of course, we also wanted to present this to you because it's a very innovative project, and we thought that we implemented this and we thought that the entire profession could benefit. Thank you. No, it's right on topic. So please stay here. Could I have all the students, please, who presented, please step down here. Faustine, Diane, please, and all the others.
It's very brave to do that type of work. So thank you very much. And I would like to, the Empode family would like to thank you for coming and doing the job. Okay.
So we cannot see it here, but he gives them Empode mugs to the students. So now we're going to have a first coffee break, so you can go where you have the first coffee in the morning. Don't forget to see the posters of the students. And we have another contest ongoing with the sponsors. So you can flash QR codes and answer the questions, and you will have a little prize if you win. Thank you.